All right, guys. So I'm gonna start off with some questions from the Instagram. Let's see. All right. So whenever you guys got questions, throw them in the chat. But questions from the Instagram to start off was, do your indicators work on lower time frames for scalps? So as far as lower time frames, I'm assuming that's like 5 to 10 minute charts for scalps. I never really look at the 1 minute, besides like what price would have broken at. Basically, there are a lot of alerts as far as the scalp. If you're scalping for 1 minute, that's super quick. But yes, you will get alerts. So you do see puts that go down. This would have alerted a call up, put down, calls up. This put would have basically just gone flat, so not the best of plays. This one would have been decent, another decent put, call, put. So if you are a scalper, yes, you would have gotten a lot of opportunities to look at the indicator, but I'm not a fan of scalping. I rather wait for a play that has a potential of going 400%. Worst case scenario, you take it for 100% and you take one play a day. I like that way more. So the 5 minute definitely would favor way over the 1 minute. And it did give a put to the downside, a call up, another call up, another call up, and then a put to end the day. But for me, primarily, I favor the 30 minute to the 1 hour chart. So today, SPY alerted a call, and then QQQ alerted the put for the 30 minute. Next question is, besides your indicator, what are your other confirmations to enter the trade? So if I'm looking to take a trade, not based off the indicator. Let's see. Basically, there's a couple things that I look at for confirmations. So one thing is RSI strength, which I've kind of adjusted a little bit to my own chart. I like the strength of the momentum, which was the MACD, but I've changed that a little bit as well. I use breaker candles, I use trend lines, Fibonacci's, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, liquidity sweeps, probably a couple more things, but that's like off the top of my brain. And so let's just say if this play on Friday, this was the play that went 10x, if I was just to get into the play based off of my own looking at it, which I did, and the indicator also alerted, but I got in just from myself, was basically I'm looking at the strength, which is this line right here. I'm looking at it to be overvalued. So over the dash line, I like to say it's in the clouds. It needs to come down. It needs to breathe a little bit. And so from there, I'm now going to look at the bars. This is the MACD histogram. I'm looking at it to be kind of like a roller coaster. And so if I'm seeing a couple golds, that's looking good. It's like riding a roller coaster and you're looking for it to come down. So that's second thing of what I'm looking at. The third thing of what I would be looking at is the breaker candle. So making sure that we break previous candle low so that I know that we're going through with going to the downside. And so on this candle right here at 9:30 on Friday, if I zoom in, I can enlarge this too. We did break right here. So I would have gotten in. It would have came up a little bit. So it did. We were in the negative for a little bit, like 20% maybe, and then eventually just continued down hard and ended up going all the way for 10x. I got out when it was 330% at the top, like my last contract, so that was about 4.3x. But that's basically what I would look at for like the three main pillars of my strategy. Another thing I love to play based off of is dojis right before because they signify reversals. I like to play off of inverse hammers if I'm bearish. I like to play off of hammers if I'm bullish. um, Liquidity sweeps. So if we could do, see if I can find one. There's been quite a few. So right here, this was a couple Fridays ago. We just barely broke above that Thursday high right here. And so this was kind of that liquidity grab that we needed to come back to the downside. So that was like another kind of confirmation of the plays that I like to get into. And then trend lines, double tops, resistance zones, support, and resistance zones is another thing that I look at in order to get onto a play based off of like my own choosing, not based off the indicator, which is an algorithm, which does add in like my own confirmations, but it kind of just does it on its own, which is beautiful in that. So that's another thing of what I look at to get into my own plays. Um, those are those two questions. If anybody has questions, just feel free to put it in the chat. Let's see if we got something. So if there are no questions, then I'll probably just go over what the last couple plays were. Friday was a beautiful play. That's kind of the play I already went over. Today took a QQQ call. So the triangle kind of went away, but I had posted it on my Instagram. We did get the breaker candle to the upside, took it for a little 40% move. I think it ended up going for like a 70% move, but we just played this back up to the upside. If anybody got in, some SPY, we had a drop after that. So it did alert on the 30-minute and then kind of pulled back. So the triangle came away, but we did get the triangle on the 15-minute. If you got in from here to there, that was a 5x. I didn't get into the put, but the alert went off, so that was a beautiful play. For tomorrow wise, I'm looking for it to go up, hopefully on QQQ. I'm loving it into this golden zone from the high of Monday, kind of at the end of day, to the low of today. So if we do get into this golden Fibonacci zone, we are already overvalued. Our roller coaster is already looking good on the MACD, so the momentum. And so if we can get into this golden zone, a 550 touch would be perfect for one. It's a significant price zone. Two, RSI and MACD would be looking good to strengthen momentum. Three or four would be our entry, which would be the breaker candle. So that's where it would signify getting in back to the downside. And then if I can add in any other confirmations like a trendline touch, let's say, for example, if we are right here, we probably wouldn't get a trendline touch actually. But theoretically, since this is aftermarket, it's going to print sideways. If we were to get a trendline touch and it came right here, RSI is already overbought. MACD is already looking good for a reversal. So that would be another good drop. Chances are pretty high that it does do that overnight, which sometimes we miss out on plays, but there's always more plays. But basically, that's what I'm looking at as far as tomorrow. Anything can happen nowadays with the news and what happens with war, tariffs, or trade agreements. So that's that. Of what I'm looking at. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. I can go over anything as far as indicator charts, whatever you guys want me to go over. If there are no questions, then I guess we'll be ending this a lot earlier than the last one. We have like 2 minutes if you guys have any questions. What is the wave line at the bottom? That's the strength of the momentum, this gold line. So the momentum is the MACD histogram. These are these bars, basically tells me the momentum of the chart. The wave line tells me the strength of the momentum. I'm like riding a wave. I like to ride the waves that are the strongest. So the higher it is, the more I like to ride that wave to the downside. It's kind of like these plays last week. So this was Friday, and then Monday we had big high waves, rode it to the downside. Beautiful play. It was a 5x play. On this day as well, big high wave, rode it to the downside right at market open. Any other questions? What are you looking at for tomorrow? Kind of just went over that. Looking at QQQ, if we can get into this golden zone. If we can, then I'll be looking for a rejection off of this 550 area back to the downside. Anything can happen overnight, but that's what I'm looking at for tomorrow. If your indicator pops up and the wave is overbought, is that a good sign to enter a trade? To the downside, correct. So, like if we're entering puts right here, line is overbought, indicator pops up, take a put to the downside, beautiful play. Just like this, we were barely overbought, downside, beautiful play right here, overbought, downside, beautiful play. This one right here, overbought, downside, beautiful play. This was kind of a chop day, so would never turn much. Could have gotten out at any point when you see that weakness isn't really showing. But yeah, for the most part, it works out pretty good. Anything else? Nope. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna end this one. Oh, okay. I don't know if you answered this question already, but do you indicators work in lower time frame for scalps? Yeah, we started with that one, but they do. If we were looking at like let's just say today, for example, on the 1 minute, you would have a lot of alerts. If we just went through the first couple few, as far as scalping, this is like the 1 minute. But if you got a call, 1 to 3 minutes, if you're looking to scalp that, would have been good. This was a 1 minute pop. This would have been a good drop. Little 3 minute pop. So it does work for as far as scalping. I don't really prefer scalping, but if somebody would like to scalp, it does do the same thing. My favorite time frame, I guess you could say, is the 30-minute chart, but it does work on the lower time frames as well. It's basically what it looks like. All right, guys, gonna end this one early. For the next one, if you guys have more questions, just save them all, and then we can do another long call like the first one was. Besides that, catch you guys later.